Da-da-da.
Oh!
There's the inaugural
Get
yawn.
the fuck up, I'm just kidding. What's up, guys?
What's up, intranet? Oh, I need to open the chat so I can chat with you folks. If there's any folks right now,
all hundreds of viewers.
Yeah, if there's any folks, chat in the chat, please.
What's up, chat?
Or if not, the algorithm.
Jenkins Ab. Oh shit!
Wait, what?
Jenkins Ab is in the chat.
Oh shit! Let's
What's up?
go.
What's up, Jenkins?
I didn't catch that one. I opened it too late.
Not gonna dox this time, but nice to see you again. Hope you're doing good.
I think we should dox because we just said it.
You said it? I didn't say shit.
Everyone knows.
Damn, bro, who told you?
Again.
You can see it from here? That's crazy.
Shit. All right. Dope. Well, we are back again. Man, I don't want to say the tagline. Do you want to say the tagline?
What's the tagline?
The tagline is the show with what is it? Cold ass tracks and even colder takes.
Something like that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a show called Cold Ones.
Cold Ones?
Yeah.
Oh, is there? Yeah, what is that? Do you know?
I think it's a podcast with these two YouTubers that I used to watch a while ago. They're pretty edgy, but yeah,
all right. Well, we'll be lukewarm ones then. That's fine.
All right. I guess this is what it's come to.
It's realistic, right? Lukewarm tracks, lukewarm takes.
Damn, bro. We got to be more confident than that.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
We didn't get any top tier tracks last week. Hopefully, we will this week. The week before,
that's on you guys, bro.
Yeah, TBH. But I mean, last week or the week before that, we had 2. So there's definitely a chance today if you've got anything good that you've been working on. Yeah. And we've got quite a queue as usual.
As usual.
Do we want to go through it?
Yeah, we got 10 people on the queue, and Jenkins, I don't know if you're gonna submit or not, but we have 10 people in the queue right now. So we have Zale, Menthol Slim, God's Warrior, we got Balenci Baby twice, Music by Div, Jokerhead, KVS, and then Seba. So if we count Balenci Baby twice, we have 9 songs in the queue. I don't know if we're gonna do Balenci Babies back to back. We'll see. We'll talk about that, but
probably not. TBH.
Yeah. TBH, sorry, bro.
A lot of TBHs today.
Yeah. Unless they tip to skip the line, but so that means that our queue again, it's full. Oh shit, we got. Hey man, I'm not trying to dox you, bro. I'm not trying to. We got Jenkins. Wait, hold on.
Did he say? Oh, he did send it. There we go.
Wait a minute. Are you going by Jacob's? I forgot. Like I went on I think Spotify. I was about to say Subway. Spotify once. I think that. Did you change your name back? Or your Instagram is still the same? I don't know.
Wait, because your artist name doesn't reflect your Twitch name. Let us know, bro.
Let us know.
You don't even know. Yeah.
We get the submission. So
he's having an identity crisis.
I get that. I get that almost every year.
It's okay. You don't have to have a name. Just be unnamed.
Artist formerly known as Jenkins F.
Dude, your fans are gonna get confused and they're gonna leave, man. You gotta decide.
Don't worry, bro. Maybe fickle fans like Josh will leave you behind, but I'll be here.
I'm like, who's this Jenkins Ave guy?
Jenkins Save?
Yeah, Jenkins
Bear
Save.
Johnson. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's go to the first track then. That being said, though, Jacob, we do have 10 people.
Oops, I said his name. My bad. Jenkins Ave. If you want to get reviewed today, you better pay up. You know this. You've been here before. We will send the link in the chat. Hopefully our commands work for anybody who wants to skip the queue of the folks who already submitted. And if you want to get reviewed today, immediately, you'll be first up. Otherwise, we're going to start going through the queue to deliver some takes.
Gotta do the queue. All right. So first one. Do you want to go to the first song?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we got Zale, allegedly Flume's cousin in Australia. We don't know that, but allegedly. They got quite a following on SoundCloud, so maybe. But right. Watership Down, it's unreleased. Zale, friend of the stream, has sent us many songs, actually. Based on the original cartoon. I don't know, it sounds cool on mixing and mastering stage. Okay, so we'll get our feedback on the mixing and mastering.
Cool.
So we can help them out. Based on original cartoon, Watership Down. Never heard of it.
Watership Down, okay.
It's a nice little album art, though. You ready?
Yep.
All right, Watership Down, Zale. 3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
Nice.
Gosh, ain't I repulsive?
So interesting.
Where's my friends? I miss them. My new gang, don't trust them. Days and nights I'm restless. Tie my lungs, I feel it. Why even try? I don't know why. Even if I don't, I'll stay alive. Watership down. Watership down.
That's a nice hook.
I give up my SOS. I am in distress. Watership down. Watership down. I give up my SOS. I am in distress.
This part's cool. Big drums. Like war drums. Wait a minute, that was Captain Falcon.
Nice catch.
There's like a booty shaker breakdown here. Like some Jersey Club.
Hope you feel too. We all love you. Hope you feel too. We all love you.
That pew sounds like very upfront and dry compared to everything else. It's kind of seemingly out of place.
That's cool.
Dude, that was
Watership
Super Smash Bros. Also.
Smash Bros. Yeah.
I give up my SOS. I am in distress. Watership down. Watership
I
down.
love the strings.
I give up my SOS.
I kind of, balance wise, I want the strings to be bigger and the vocals to be a little less recorded.
I am in distress.
Such a cool chop of the strings, though.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Oh, I
I
like
like
that.
this part. Yeah,
Yeah, that was super
I like
cool.
it better without the vocal on it.
Oh, yeah?
This part, yeah. It might be a mixing balance thing though.
Chee!
The
I
fuck
love
is that?
This another sample.
Oh, it sounded like a banshee.
What is that? Chee! What is that from?
I know it was like a coin thing that was distorted, but it at first it sounded like a scream.
No, it's from a specific video game. I forgot what it
Is it
was.
like a Mario thing?
I don't know.
I think it is. When he picks
Fuck.
up a fucking coin or something.
No, it wasn't like "Da-da," it was like ching. It was like when something like powers up or something,
Oh, might be.
or
That
like
might
when
also
somebody
be Smash
glances and
Bros.
it's like a little ching. Yeah, it
Yeah,
might be Smash Bros. Fuck, that's
I
gonna
think it
bother
might
me.
be. Yeah.
That was cool, Zale. Very cool as usual. I love the string chops.
Yeah, it
Very
was a nice
grand
part.
sounding. Um, yeah, melodically very interesting. I like the vocals, but I do think the balance might have been off. So, um, but yeah, what do you got for vibes, first impressions, Josh?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think most of my critiques might be around the mixing and mastering stuff. Um, but it does sound a little bit disjointed to me. Like I can
Damn,
pretty
Jacob going in
clearly
right now.
I can
Sorry,
I can pretty what the fuck,
call me mid age right now.
dude? um I can pretty clearly hear that like which parts are separate. Like they don't sound all that cohesive right now to me.
Mm.
Just the volumes are kind of all over the place. It feels like there's maybe some strange like smart mix bus processing. Like you have like a special algorithmic stereo widener or something, and like a sub bass expand. I don't know. Like
Well, let's see, baby's here. Sorry.
I'm hearing a lot of strangeness in the overall mix that sounds like things are being kind of pulled and mashed around in a weird way, probably due to
Yep.
some plugins that are trying to do it all, you know. Um, so that there's that. And again, I think Chris, you might have mentioned this sort of stereo field oddness. And just like the vocal, I think was way too loud in comparison to the rest of the stuff most of the time. So that's like the main thing that I'm hearing, and maybe that's where you want and need the feedback, which is good. But it's hard to say, like, if that was more cohesive, if it was more cohesively put together, it might kind of hide some of the seams, you know, and make it feel like more of a cohesive song. But right now, it just feels to me like a lot of samples put together in not always in order that makes a lot of sense. There is some semblance of like chorus verse type thing, but it just sort of feels like you took shit from all over and kind of smashed it together and are trying to have a lot of automatic plugins do the work. I do like the string part, right? Although it sounds like a sample, but it's a good one, right? Like it's kind of catchy. It's a nice ambiance
Favorite
atmosphere.
thing. Sorry. All the
Um,
home.
uh, yeah, what's up? But yeah, I don't know. Like vibes overall, I'm distracted by the other elements, especially the production that kind of make the content feel more disjointed and just the overall listening experience. So I don't know. Vibes, I think I would just have to give it like a maybe 45% between yellow and green.
Mm. Oh, really?
Yeah. It was
I
just too distracting with the mix was just pulling me out of it.
Yeah, the mix was definitely kind of like all over the place, but I thought it was pretty much enjoyable for a listening experience. So I really liked a lot of the elements actually melodically. I thought the strings were chopped fantastically. I thought it sounded really cool, very grand. I do wish it was mixed a little, and I talked about it while I was listening. That I wish the strings were mixed a little more big sound. They were kind of being overshadowed, excuse me, by the vocals. The vocals, I love the hook melody. The "Water ship down, water ship down." I thought that was awesome. Very catchy as well. Arrangement wise, the little booty shaker, Jersey Club switch up in the middle. Um, I It kind of just seemed randomly placed there. Don't get me wrong, I like that kind of stuff, but it just felt a little bit out of place. And it was interesting because it just didn't feel like it was put in there. I feel like to put like an energetic kind of mix up, but it didn't feel energetic enough. So I would say like if you're gonna go for something like that, if you're gonna go for contrast, like don't make it kind of underwhelming. Just go for it. Make it hard hitting. Um, but yeah, I mean, I personally enjoyed the uniqueness of the stereo filled usage, but I do think it was kind of sloppily done, and could be to Josh's point that it might have just been like automated and not really had like a careful attention to it. So you're in that stage now, Zale, of mixing and mastering. This is the time to kind of zone in and make sure you listen to the whole song and be like, okay, maybe that automatic processing. I don't know if you're using something like Isotope Ozone. I do it,
Yeah.
but it might sound great in the loudest part of the song. It was like, hey man, go back to those other
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah.
So I mean, overall, I think I love a lot of this creatively and artistically. I do think that the mix needs a lot of work, and it's a work in progress. That's what he's doing right now. So um, my vibes, I think I'm at like maybe 65, 70 between green and yellow. I really do a lot of the stuff. It's just, yeah, there just needs to be some work done in the lab. So, what do you got for content? How long is
Um,
the queue looking right now, bruh? We have like 9 songs right now. Actually, 10 because
been
Jenkins has
worse.
put in. Um, fuck, did I say Jenkins or yeah, Jenkins? He's he's paid the tip too, so we're gonna put him
Oh,
ahead
and
of everybody.
Balenci Baby is back.
Valencia Baby is back.
Okay,
So
well, you have
Valencia, we got
3.
yeah, we got 3
You have to
songs.
choose one. I think we
Yeah,
probably have to have a 1 track per stream policy at this point,
right, right. But
but it could
Valencia
be for the
Baby,
future.
you're so Menthol Slim, God's Warrior, Valencia Baby, you're third. So we should definitely be able to get to you free queue. We have 3 songs by you right now though, so um, we probably could do one, and just to be fair with everybody else. Um, and if you do a tip, since these are songs that are old, we could get you two. Um, but yeah, we got music by Div, Jokerhead, KVS, Seba, Jacob Jobson, Fuck, Valencia baby,
Or
and here they.
it could also be like Balenci, if you, don't need feedback on the other ones anymore or whatever, or you
Right.
prioritize one, like, we can switch them out.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. We have La Reina, Sip My Drink, and uh where you at? Triz. So let us know which one you want. But yeah, that's what the queue's looking like. Jacob,
But
just to let you know.
you said you only sent one. You sent us 2, like, 2 weeks ago.
Might
It
have to
was
drop the 5 ski
La
again,
La
bro.
Reina and Sip My
Dude,
Drink.
dude, fucking shout out here, think bag dropper. Appreciate you. You don't have to do this. So
Um,
nice.
yeah,
But
okay, content for this one,
sorry, yeah, let's get back to it. I'm distracted.
yeah, I don't know. Again, it might be the mix is making things not feel like they go together.
Yeah.
Like to me, it feels like a lot of different elements, some of which are good. Like I like some of the elements, but I don't know if they are completely cohesive. Like there's a couple things that may feel out of place. Like Chris mentioned one.
Mhm.
Um, I think to me, I like those strings, but I feel like they're a bit repetitive. Like I'm sort of still hearing it in my head, but not in a good way. Almost like it's sort
I'm
of
hearing
like
it in my head. I like it, but
it's sort of
I
like an
get it.
earworm, but it's so like back and forth. The sort of motion of that string part. It's like it's a little bit like seasickness for the
Yep.
ear. It's like oh, like we're going like over and over. You know.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it actually does feel like that, like sonic seasickness, but but it's cool in the moment. I don't know. I think like thinking about not so much how cool, right, each of the elements are. Like, oh, I like this sample, I have to use it, or I like this string part, like it's cool. I like this vocal part, it's cool. I'm just gonna throw it all together, right? Like that doesn't always work. It's like putting like all your favorite foods together at the same time doesn't always work.
Fruit salad, baby.
Yeah, if all your favorite fruit
I fucking
foods
hate
are
fruit
fruit,
salad.
really?
Yeah.
You
It's
hate
a
fruit?
classic. I love fruit. I hate fruit salad. It's a classic example or
Interesting.
analogy. It's a good analogy.
Not yummy, yummy. All right. Let's see. So, yeah, I don't know. There's some cool content, but I just don't know how I feel about it as a whole song. Like, it feels a little bit. It's like both like basic in the composition, but also overbearing in like the samples that aren't necessary. So
Mm.
I'm trying to get to what is the song really like. I like the hook kind of and the chorus. It's cool, but I'm not getting a lot out of the song itself. I'm struggling to figure out what it is or why it is, what it's trying to say.
Yep.
Um, so I don't know. I think like again, most of my feedback will be in production probably, but for content, I'll probably just say 50-50 between yellow and green because
Mm.
there's some cool stuff, but I think it's about the way it's put together and executed on.
Hmm. Yeah. Speaking about the message of the song, so I don't know if you're doing this too, but I was listening to or reading the lyrics while it was happening, and definitely there's some spots where like if I just listened to the song and wasn't looking at the lyrics at the same time, there's no way I would have picked up what they were saying.
Yeah,
Like for example, the
intelligibility.
Watership Down for sure. I can hear that. Like that's you have the catchy part of it. There's syllables that match up nicely, but then the next line is "Hope you find my SOS." There's no way I heard that. It was like,
Oh yeah.
like it was literally like that,
Yeah.
and like I don't know, melodically it sounded okay, but it was just like there's no way I can hear that and so Watership Down. You said it's a show and it's based off of that show, and really that doesn't tell too much about what you're feeling, but something like a line of "Hope you found my SOS." That sounds like, oh man, like this person is in distress because they're sending out an SOS, and then they feel desperate because they're hoping somebody found it. That's like a song. That's like an emotion that you want to convey, but literally because it's not intelligible, people that don't read the
Mm.
lyrics are gonna be like, I don't feel anything when I hear this. It just sounds like somebody's doing a melody.
It just
So
sounds, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think lyrics wise, it's somewhat basic, but I think it comes across as a good message. Like when I was reading it, I was like, yeah, this is a pretty nice, beautiful message. Like I like this, but when I was listening to it at the same time, I was like, I don't think it's connecting. So that could be like a critique from a content perspective. I already told you that I like a lot of the elements here. I like the strings. I could see Josh's point on why it's how he thinks it's repetitive. I think it's repetitive in a good way. I personally didn't get tired of it. Um, but yeah. So I think the ending piece also was really cool, especially that little detune that you did at the end.
Yeah, I like that part.
That was a great way to wind down the song. And then I told you about the Jersey Club mix up. If you're gonna go for a higher energy like that, I would say overwhelm us rather than underwhelm us there
And
with the
what
different.
was up with all of the Smash Bros samples? Like, it's cool if there's one or
Yeah,
two, but it was like, I don't
that's great,
understand. Is this song about this show or whatever it was, or is it
dude.
Smash Bros? What? Why?
Great point, right? Then that kind of goes to your point, right? Where it's like, oh, I love Smash Bros. Smash Bros. The game was cool. Does it go with Watership Down? Does
Yeah,
it go with finding my
mixed
SOS?
with like
It's
Star
literally
Wars
like,
or something.
hope you found my SOS. I'm in distress, and then huh, Captain Falcon. It's like what?
Yeah, what?
So look, I like the stuff like that. It made me smile, but like zooming out, it's like, does this really serve its purpose here? So
Yeah, it's a little bit
um,
overwhelming.
yeah. So I think all that to being said, a lot of melodic stuff I like. Hook I think is pretty gold, um, but it feels disjointed a lot of places, and some things feel out of place. Um, 40 between green and yellow. What did you put?
I said 50, but I might bring it down to 40.
I'll switch. So you say
Uh,
40, I'll say 50.
okay, fair enough.
What do you got for production? We
Um,
kind of went into it, but
yeah, like production again. I just am getting the sense that there's a lot of plug-in sorcery happening here. Like I'm hearing a lot of things that are odd sonically. Again, like when you have stereo widener plugins, for instance,
yeah.
they are not just doing like basic panning or whatever. They're like doing phase shifting and sometimes a little bit of EQing, and it actually can mess with your ears to an extent sometimes because it's basically using psychoacoustic principles to make the sounds sound like they're doing something they actually are not. So it's not like there's there's a lot of different like ways that those plugins can work, but they're doing advanced maneuvers on your audio. And if you've got that over a big range of tracks, you might get the effect that you want on the strings, right? And you're like, oh, this is great. But then if it also is like applied to a drum part or like a different synth or keyboard or something, then like that instrument sounds weird and out of whack. And especially when you start stacking these kind of things, especially like phase shifting to a bunch of different instruments and a bunch of different tracks, it's gonna get complicated to listen to. There's gonna be weird, like, comb filtering, all sorts of strange stuff that's gonna happen. So you really wanna start with the basics, and if you're in the beginning or whatever, if you're mixing, mastering process, don't start by just going to Ozone or going to something that's gonna use AI to do something. Because if you put, like, Ozone on, like, the wrong, like, track group, I mean, I guess that's mastering, so it's one thing, but any of these specialized AI plugins, if you use them the wrong way, they're not going to do the right thing. They're not like magic, and they also unfortunately are not at the point yet where they can say that this is definitively better than without me, the plugin on it, right? They want to sell you the plugins that it can do things, and sometimes it's useful, but it's not like a magic solution to everything. You have to start with compression, EQ, and volume. Well, in the other direction, volume, EQ, and compression.
Yeah, yeah.
And if your mix sounds good with those, you can look into these special tricks, right? A really good tip, honestly, is to mix in mono until it sounds good enough to be, releasable. And then if you want to do special things with, the spatialization and the left right balance and, anything related to stereo, then you can do it once your mix sounds good. But if you start focusing on that too early, it can really skew the way that it'll be played on like, smartphones, any system that's not doesn't have a great stereo field, like even in a car. Um, it's generally better to lay off of the fancy stuff before you got the basics down. So
Mhm.
that's what I would say for this. I'm hearing a lot of mixing complexity.
If you were so that those are really good tips, but I just would want to say if we could get granular
Mhm.
just for a second.
Yeah.
So you're saying you hear a lot of perhaps maybe AI work or maybe advanced mixing stuff like
Maybe
stereo
not
like
AI stuff, but yeah, maybe some stereo, like stereo widening.
widening. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something with there's something with the bass where the bass part sounded like it was really low, like to the point where like my
I didn't even
headphones
hear it.
weren't reproducing a lot of it. I was hearing some of the fundamentals of the bass part, and then it would kind of disappear, and it was a weird, almost unsettling thing where I could hear that there was a good amount of low bass, but I couldn't pin down the fundamental, and it might be
The
because
hollow.
you might be using like a bass extender plugin or something that's like doing something slightly unnatural. It was not something that I commonly hear.
Mhm. I felt that for the strings, oddly enough, too. Like it felt a little bit hollow. It was trying to be big, but for some reason it was just
I
hollowed
think
out.
it's something with a stereo field plugin or something weird.
Yeah. So okay. So I just wanted to give like specific instances that because in
Yeah.
the odd chance that it's not AI something, then it's like okay, what part could I change? So
Yeah.
in the
Well,
bass or
right, and another thing, like, the vocal parts, usually sounded too loud to me relative to the rest of the
yes.
mix, just above everything, and I almost felt like at one point it was side chaining a little bit, maybe I might have to go back and listen again,
Yeah.
but again, just something odd about, like, the balance of a lot of the instruments wasn't
Yeah.
quite right. That's step 1 in your mix, like, get rid of everything else, like, don't start on anything else before you have the balance of the volume between the tracks, and then as you're mixing and adding plugins and doing EQs, you have to continually keep an eye on those basic things, because if you put a compressor on something, and 9 times out of 10, it's gonna change the volume of the track, and you have to be smart enough as a mixing engineer to not say, it's louder, my ape brain thinks it's better, right? You have to volume match and figure out, did the timbre improve? Did the way that it fits into the mix improve? Or did it just get louder? Is it just sugar that my brain is craving, right? Loudness.
Mm.
So again, like making sure you're keeping the basic track volumes level throughout the mixing process. It sounds like that might have gotten away a little bit here. So I would just make sure to keep an eye on that. And then what else? I don't know. Do you have any other production thoughts?
No, I mean I pretty much agree with everything that you said. And uh, while I was, what's up, Sauki? While I was listening to it, I took note of what sounded way too out of place. Like there were some transition things that were like, "What?" It was just
Yeah,
way too loud and in the middle of the mix. That's definitely a background element, right? So
yeah.
I would just say listen for that, Zale, and take Josh's tips because I pretty much agree with everything that he said. Um, so overall, my score for production, I think it's probably the weakest part of the song right now. I think it's 20% between green and yellow. Yeah,
I think I would just give it a develop, and in some
I see that.
cases, sort of a redo. Like it's like you might want to just strip everything off and like start with a more holistic, cleaner approach. Because I know like things can get really complicated in your DAW when you are going about it in a convoluted way, and it can be harder to fix, like try to fix the mistakes you've made before, than to just start and like try to keep things simple the whole time, right? Like instead of trying to solve like fight fires and like put band-aids on things, if you can get it right and be really careful about your mix moves throughout, it will make your DAW simpler, it'll make it easier to fix things, and it'll probably make things sound better. Because ultimately, the more plugins that you go through, the more you're degrading sound. In some cases, that's fine. Like if you want to add distortion and saturation, whatever, that is signal degradation. But if every plugin is introducing a little bit of that or a little bit of stereo phasing or whatever it is, the end result's going to be very complicated and isn't going to translate as well to a lot of systems.
Yep.
Are we playing the lottery? What? Oh, is that pie?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. All right. We spent a lot of time on this. We got some people's
Yes.
waiting.
So
But
track total. What do you think?
track total, like 40 between green and yellow. I
I
do
was
like
gonna
a lot of
say,
the stuff that's happening, but
yeah. I was
a
gonna
lot of
say like
work.
35% between yellow and green.
There it is.
Yeah,
But yeah, appreciate you, Zell. I think you're one of the more creative people that submit to
definitely.
us. So thank you.
Curious to see where this will go.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right. So we got both the Jacobs lined up right now. Shout out everybody named Jacob. Um, but we have Jenkins Ave first, friend of the stream, longtime supporter. Appreciate you. Corey, we got your submission. So thank you. You are last in the queue right now. So um, judging how long it is, we might not even get to this week unless you use the tip link. Wait a minute. Did we winner circle? I feel like we've heard this before. Have we?
Is
Is
it
this
well?
new?
Did we hear
This was 5
V1?
days ago. Yeah, maybe it was V1. I don't know. It looks like homie's FaceTiming with himself, looking at a mirror of himself.
That's insanity right
That's
there.
it's introspection, bro.
Yeah.
But all right. Wait, does he got a description here? Let's see. Shit, I don't even know, bro. Thanks, bro. Okay, all right. So Jenkins, if you're in the chat, let us know. Creative picture for show. Bum. That's all he's got to say. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Probably why they ain't doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Net bangers tryna bring me down. I ain't reading, I just block them out. Call me Charles,
It took me a while to catch the beat.
shit. I ain't sliding when them hoes involved. Circle tighter than a college shit. Day twos out of arm's reach. Day ones in my eye message in all caps saying drop this. They been throwing in directs. We ain't got the same direction. I'm better not in my best. You be in the back section. Fuck you, Josh, get it straight.
Fuck you,
Y'all been
Josh?
falling for the bait.
Say fuck you,
5 seconds
Josh?
on
What
TikTok.
said?
What the fuck y'all tryna make? Ops waiting for my downfall. Tell them wait till I touch down. Standing under my asphalt. Y'all begging for me to shut down. Shit,
This
I don't
beat's
care.
crazy.
Y'all shut up. 35 when I cut up. Night on you weak artists. I'm shooting threes like I'm lucked up. Shit, I'm up. Y'all stay dry. New thing on my FaceTime. Pretty thing always faced up. Gripping on it from the waistline. All we getting here's dubs. Shit, ain't no crying in the club. Boys be acting like bitches so they can't come through when we cut. Shit, I ain't handing out fucks.
Hey.
Shit,
Cool.
I ain't handing out fucks.
Dude, this beat's very like
Shit, I ain't
Kanye,
handing out fucks. No,
like old Kanye,
no,
pitched up.
no
choir
fucks.
samples.
I ain't handing out fucks.
Oh man, those samples are nice.
Very.
Keep the piano.
I think the last part there, the kick might be a little overpowering, but
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking too. But that's cool.
that was cool, man. Did you say fuck Josh? Did I
Yeah.
hear that
What
right?
was that? What was that lyric?
He's trying to start beef here.
Where is that?
Let me see him. I'll listen to it again.
Can
I'll
you
try to
find
find
it?
it. Yeah, I'll find it.
It's like the first third, right?
I also hold on. I need to listen to this first part again. Okay, never mind. You go
got
for
it?
it. What's your vibes? Yeah, I'll find it.
Yeah, find it, and then I'll try to play it. Okay, vibes. Yeah, man, I like it. It's dope. Short and to the point. I don't know. Are you planning on making this a longer song, or is it just short? That's a question I have. I think this could be a longer song if you wanted to. It's not like it's overstaying at all. It's good. Like the vibe. I like those samples at the end. There's a couple of mix notes for sure that I think could like really take it up to another level in a good way. But yeah, as usual, I mean, good delivery, good writing. Yeah.
I found it, but it's around like 033. He says it's for you, Josh. Like before you, Josh. Definitely sounds like fuck you, Josh.
Wait.
This
Let me
fuck
find
you,
it.
Josh. Get it straight. Yeah.
I'm missing call shit, them hoes involved, college shit.
Oh,
They
that's your
I
bro.
message in all caps, saying drop this. They been throwing
not
in
even like
directs.
a fun
We
vibe,
ain't got
it's
the same
just fuck you,
direction.
Josh.
I'm better not in my best. You be in the back section. Fuck you, Josh, get it straight.
Oh, it does sound like fuck you, Josh.
Fuck you, Josh. Get it straight.
Well, fuck you, Jacob.
Nah, but fuck Josh. He says.
That's funny.
That was cool.
Nice. Vibes. Oh yeah, I like it. Vibes. I'm gonna give it a score of fucking like 90%
Black.
between yellow and green. Just only because I wanted more of the song, kind of.
Yeah, that's true.
You know. What do you think?
Yeah, that was super cool. When the beat first came in, he came in with this like flow that I was just not expecting at all. So it took me a little bit to catch the beat. But when I did, I was just like, "Ooh, that's good, that's good." Very nice flow to it. I didn't catch much like bars the first time around, but besides the "fuck you, Josh" bar, but I think he was just like speaking shit. Nothing like jumped out cleverly, but that might just be me missing it. I just have to go back and listen to it. The beat I thought was awesome to listen to. Reminded me of old school Kanye, especially when I watched that documentary recently. Just the high pitched choir vocals,
Yeah.
very soulful sound, even like kind of Chance coloring book vibes as well. I think
Definitely.
that's somebody's he's trying to go for, and I think he's nailing it. Vocals sound confident. Delivery sounds awesome. I'd bump this shit. I think it sounds really
You
cool.
know, I know somebody who sang on the coloring book background vocals.
Wait, what's that?
I
Sorry.
know
What?
somebody who sang on the coloring book background vocals.
Really? Who?
Yeah, she went to UIUC. Sophia Bird.
Really?
She
I
has
think
a.
you might have told me this.
She was nominated for a Grammy like 2 years ago.
Okay, I think you did tell me about this.
Yeah.
It was for her stuff on coloring book.
No. That was for a different project. But me and Antoine used to like record for her and stuff.
35 when I cut up Steph Curry night night. Steph Curry's signature move.
He's reading the chat, folks.
I'm just out of the loop with Steph Curry, bro. I got you with the bars always. Sucky later. All right, well, pause. Just a second.
You're
But
out
yeah,
of out of the loop with Steph Curry. Oh, I thought Derrick Rose is all the rage these days.
Derek D Rose. I don't know,
Yeah,
bro.
a little bit
Um,
outdated.
yeah, but vibes. I think it sounds pretty good so far. Is this a work in progress? What's up? I am on my bump
Yeah,
shit.
I
As
think
you couldn't tell, like, dude, I started the stream in a fucking uh, what is this bathrobe? But anyways, what did he say? Did he
he,
say this
he
work in
before
progress?
earlier he said, what did he say?
I
Chris
think it's
Curry's out here doing a sweater haul while Josh doing science.
no. Yeah. I was trying to say like what stage is this song
Oh,
in?
it
It's
says work in
private. It's
progress.
work in progress. Um, I think it's pretty much ready to be dropped. It sounded pretty clean. Maybe a couple things, small things, but uh, nah, it was just cool. It was a nice vibe. Um, vibes. I put it like 90, 90 between green and yellow. Sounds
Dope.
dope. Content. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I can't complain much. Keeps it, pretty much nice and simple. Again, like all those samples, especially at the end. That's nice. Great like vocal delivery. I think I said it before. Like good writing. Um, that kick is fat, although mixing note on that asterisk.
Mhm.
Chris looks like a fucking killbot or something right
Yes,
now.
sir. Uh, fuck Jacob. No, I'm just kidding. Listen to
um,
Jenkins Ave.
the killer RoboCops are coming for you, Jenkins Ave.
Yes, sir.
First thing, you Jacob, dox this man. Um, anyways, yeah, I like the content a lot. I can't really complain. I just honestly wish there was maybe one more song section. I thought it was like could have been longer. It was pretty short. It's like only a minute and a half.
Mhm.
Because I like that shit. So yeah,
I
I
might
would go
I
ahead.
might want to ask you maybe in production, so I'll save it. But
Okay.
I just wonder because usually like uh, when I'm listening to Jacob stuff, I can catch like lyrics quickly, and maybe like I'm on my bum shit. I don't get a lot of the references. But I also wonder, do you think it might have been some sort of like clashing with some of the vocals in the background that might have been clashing with his vocals? Because it didn't seem like his vocals stood out too much to me in the mix. Did you hear anything like that, or
I
I don't know?
think the main thing that's conflicting with elements is the kick. I think it's
Is
just
the
a little
kick?
bit too present.
Got it.
You know
Okay.
what? The other thing it probably is, I think the other elements are not leaving enough space in the center for the vocal.
Mm,
I
mm,
definitely was wanting more. St- you know, it partly is important to do that stereo stuff at the end, right? So that you can leave some space for the elements that want to thrive in the middle.
yep.
But it really is still better to cut out that space in the frequency domain first. So just making sure there's no clashing with again
Yeah.
whatever your lead instruments are, um, and then you can make it even better at the end with the stereo stuff. But yeah, a little bit of clash, and the kick is also pretty loud. I think it cuts into everything a little bit, each time it hits.
Right. I was just listening back to it again, and I think I see what you're saying. If I were to do anything, Jacob, I do like the pitched up vocals, but I feel like that with the piano and then your voice, I feel like they might kind of lie in overlapping frequency ranges, and so maybe if you found the like where your voice sits and it really hits and cuts through the mix, if you could kind of cut that in the other elements there, kind of like what Josh is saying, just to make some room for yourself, because you're a good rapper and I want to hear like the most of you that I can. I think you produce it too, so like you're a good producer too. I like your stuff, but you know, when it's a rap verse, I'm trying to hear you say shit that I don't know, like Steph Curry's signature move. 35 cut up, is that what you said? What is that? But anyways, yeah. Um, did you get your score on that? I think I interrupted you, but
Yeah, score and content. I think I would give it again kind of a 85 or 90%.
I think I like all the content. I think I might just have a little bit of issue with production. That's all.
Yeah, it is more in production. I'll say 90.
Yeah, I think I'll just say green. I like the content a lot. We'll see what production has to say. What do you got for production?
Yeah, the production part again, I think the kick it's especially noticeable at the end, like how overbearing it is, and I'm wanting more of. There's some really nice background elements that are happening there, but they're too far buried. They're a little bit hard to hear on our systems at least, which means it probably translates to other systems as well, or doesn't. But yeah, I think definitely like working on maybe bringing up some of those background elements, especially at the end when they're like part of the main focus. Um, Having that sort of stereo width to them would be good, but again, bringing up the volume a little bit would help, and bringing the kick down a little bit, not making it so overbearing. It's really just again the basics with the sort of your volume leveling. Sorry, I'm trying to focus, but Chris is out here fucking laughing.
Sorry,
Um,
dude. Jacob's tilting in the chat right now.
he's tilting. What does that mean?
He's just going off. It's
Oh
just
yeah. Well,
all emotions.
is that unexpected? No.
No, it's not. We love it. That's why we love him.
Yes.
Channels it into
Well,
the
some of
the
us
music.
do.
Yeah. Damn. I'm telling you, dude. Beef with Josh and Jacob. I'm calling it. I love
You're
it.
gonna lose.
Oh shit. Oh shit. You got ops here.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll forgive him. I know he has a crush on me. It's fine.
he did say he did say something a little horny.
He said that shit. Yeah, little bit horny. That's
All
okay.
right.
All right. Anyways. Oh god. Oh, Curry, he's coming for you
I'll try to
now.
I'll try to blind eye
He's
to
coming for
the
you too,
haters.
bro.
I
You're
don't
on
even
my
see it.
team. Yeah.
What do you say? Acting like he didn't have the link, but I was pulling his hair from the back before his stream. Damn.
Fuck.
I see.
All right. He's got bars. We know that.
Yeah, yeah. He's a funny guy.
But yeah, like I was saying in introduction,
You
it's
know, all
really
that being said, I got track total red for redo. Actually, red for quit.
Yeah,
I'm
did I say
gonna,
90 before? I meant 90% to red.
yeah, I meant negative 90. I meant I'm gonna get a stop sign.
I meant I'm gonna
That's like,
file a fucking restraining order.
and that the stop sign. The thing about the stop sign is, unlike a traffic light, it doesn't change the color, so it's
Yeah,
always stop.
it doesn't say you
It's
should redo anything.
yeah, it just says stop.
Stop, quit.
Stop what you're doing.
Yeah,
Y'all's
leave.
90s so loud. But anyways, sorry. We're on production, right? What do you
Yeah,
got?
the production, like again, it's not bad. It's just some of the balance. It's really just like leveling balance, and then maybe you could do some nice things with stereo to bring some room into the middle for the vocal, and it would just sound nicer to have those background samples be a little bit interesting in the stereo field.
Yeah, so that's
Um,
what he said something interesting actually when I was reading the chat.
mhm.
Something actually productive. But he said that he looked at the mix today and he was EQing those samples, like the choir samples, and he did it on the side EQ instead of the main EQ. So maybe he was trying to cut it those frequencies, but it only cut on the side for some reason. And
Oh,
we all know the vocal should be in the middle, and maybe that's what led to some of the clashing. So
interesting.
yeah, I was gonna say because usually I feel like he does have a good ear for that, but
That
yeah.
could, I mean, it could be the issue. You flip that around and maybe it's fine. Um, but yeah, I think production is not bad otherwise. I think it's pretty good. I would probably give it a 60% between yellow and green. It's like more of the way there than not, but it's just a couple of things that happen throughout. The volume of the kick,
Mhm.
the just, making sure the instruments are not clashing and stereo field makes sense,
Mhm.
would make a huge difference. This would be like really, really good if that stuff is taken care of.
He said that's it. Every Friday is a new "Fuck Josh" anthem with like
Yeah.
1K features. Do you mean like 1,000 people that are featured on the song, or like 1,000?
1,000 people. Everyone who's ever watched the stream is on this fucking track.
Dude, hit me up. Hit me up. You need a
Karma.
feature.
It all comes back.
That'd be funny.
What
But
goes around comes around.
I think I'm at 70% with production. I think this varies, just small tweaks at this point. But their tweaks need to be done for sure. So, um, yeah. Overall, I'm at like 85 between green and yellow. It's almost there. Pretty solid. Like it.
Yeah.
Damn, Chris turning on Josh.
Over.
Dude, what if I said, yeah, I'll do a feature, but like just do a diss feature on Jacob on his own song.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be good too. You don't know, man. I'm a double agent. We'll see.
Ooh.
But
But yeah, my overall, I think I would give it like a 75% between yellow and green. Most of it is really cool. It was just like a couple of mixed basics, and if you want to add an extra verse or something to it, I think it could use it.
oh, because you want it to be a little longer.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this shit's over. Like it was like we were going somewhere, and now we're just like, fuck it, we're just gonna end the song. You know what I mean?
Jenkins has an idea. I don't know if you'll like it.
Oh, God. Oh boy.
But
all right, I'm
yeah.
ready. Send us V3.
All right. Appreciate you, Jacob. Jacob part 1. But we do got Jacob part 2
Yes.
as well. Here with Inc. Shouts out to you. Certified bag dropper. We appreciate I appreciate the support so much, man. And I'm excited because you make fantastic music. Also known as the co-vice president of HHC. He's killing shit.
And then by the way, we got what's the artist's name? We got Abstract Glitch up next, also with the dono. So thank you for that.
Sheesh. Oh, what's up? I don't even know if we saw you in chat, but
is that? I think it's Sauki Music.
Oh, that's Sauki.
I think so. Correct us if I'm wrong. I think so.
Yeah, let us know, Sauki. Later, Jenkins. Appreciate you, Doug. I'll have to listen to the stuff you sent me. My bad. I'm terrible at just like responding to people. So. Okay, so here I think Dusk. It's a work in progress. Some crazy sound design fun / potential Earth Inc. album track. This leaks right now. No vocals, no second drop yet. Okay, so there's no vocals, no second drop. We'll keep that in mind while we're listening. If you're doing some crazy sound design, probably going to be pushing something. So we'll listen for that as well. We'll do our best to give you some feedback. Let us know if you have anything that is like hitting your ears, like, oh, can you guys pay attention to this? Or what do you think about this? Blah, blah, blah. So they got no second drops. Oops. Plus no Corbin yet, Sag. Yes, we all want Corbin. But you ready, Josh?
Yep, let's do it.
All right. Dusk. Here think 3, 2, 1. Here think minus Corbin. Oh shit, I turned my SoundCloud down.
The bass sounds a little bit high up in the frequency range. Oh jeez.
I turned up too loud. Okay, that snare's a little piercing.
It's pretty distorted. That's cool.
Let's go, Josh. You know what time it is, bro. That snare's pretty
There's some relief.
Yeah, some solace. Ooh, is that a guitar?
Oh, that's a cool groove. That's cool.
I almost wonder if you put this part in the front of the song. Just to kind of ease us in a little bit, and
Yeah.
it might have been because of the snare being so piercing, but
Well, there
it
was
was
like
jarring.
a loud like screech right at the beginning of that first drop, I guess, or
True,
maybe that
true.
wasn't a drop, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me see it. I'll listen to
I
it.
mean, it immediately becomes very crushed and distorted.
Yeah.
Um, that was kind of my main critique throughout. I think was again some of the stuff on the production side. I
Mm-hmm.
I like the way that the song flows throughout.
Hmm.
There's like some really nice grooves in there. That drop is pretty powerful. The groove at the end is so fun. I
Yeah.
wanted more of that kind of.
Yeah.
Um, there's some stuff, some sort of like side chaining and automations that I think are a little bit
Dramatic.
yeah, dramatic, maybe like a little bit distracting almost.
Mm.
Some of the like up and down side chaining or whatever it is, something's like tied to an oscillator or something. It's pretty dramatic, like the volume sort of cutting in and out.
Mm.
It was okay, but really it comes down to the production stuff, which we can go into detail there. I think just vibes overall. I would probably give this a like 80%.
Mm.
And it's mostly about the execution, and maybe in a couple cases, like you can still have the high energy without having the sort of perceived hyperactivity.
Yeah.
Like there are some times when it just feels like there are parts that don't serve the song or serve the energy well because they're distracting or they feel unfocused. I
Hmm.
think that's sort of what it's about. Again, it's like I mean, we come across this a lot, but being very purposeful about every element of your song. Is there something there that clashes with the narrative or with the energy journey? Right, like is the section that it's in at one energy level, and then you've got this weird kind of side part that's doing something so different that it's distracting. That's a lot of what we see.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, overall, it's cool. It's a good song. It's interesting. It stays interesting throughout. Yeah, I like it. What do you think?
Hmm. Sauki says, "Love the mix." Actually, um, I I agree with what you're saying too. I like some of the more aggressive production that he does, like the side chinning and stuff. Um, I listen to that kind of like, what is it, harder EDM that does that shit, and I've come to like that kind of style.
Yeah, yeah,
But there are some points where, especially in the drop, um, that I feel I get like a wall of sound s vibes to where, and I feel like it's kind of a consequence of like the loudness wars, and especially in EDM, like where
yeah. I
people
was
try to
hearing
be as
that.
loud as fuck. But it's like, there's a lot of stuff going on. I could tell that there's a lot of stuff going on, but I can't pick it apart because everything's kind of smashed.
Yeah, I was hearing a little bit of a lack of dynamic range. Like
Yeah,
sounded like the stuff happening underneath was cool and the dynamics were good, but it was
exactly,
all just being smashed up to that ceiling where you could sort of tell what was going on, but it was like, oh damn, I
exactly.
wish that had the actual dynamics, not just the perceived ones.
Right, and like there's a part, there's like a top line that's going like, it has like a melody going on, um, and I could barely hear it. You could hear me say, Jacob, when I say like, "Oh man, I love that part," and I think I try to sing it, but I sing it wrong. But like, it's like earlier in the song, but I was like, "Oh, that'd be cool," but I literally have to like focus on it and listen for it, and then he says that Corbin's not on it yet, and Corbin's like a singer, and so I just can't help but wonder like how is she gonna fit onto the song if there's
Mm,
already so little space.
that's true.
Um, and I mean, I'm sure you'll find a way to do it, Jacob. But it's like, yeah, at this point, it sounds really crowded at some points. That reprieve part at the end, I think, was very nice in terms of dynamic range, and like I was able to pick apart everything. And then there's like some cool, weird grooves that you're doing. And I even humored that. Oh, what if you put that kind of in the beginning? Um, don't get me wrong; it was nice to like start with high energy, but and this is what Josh says, and we're probably gonna get into later. But like the execution on production, it just made me immediately turned down my volume because the snare was just like
That I had to do too,
it was
yeah.
like I was like it was like a
Yeah.
dagger. So EQ that shit. But yeah, so overall vibes, um yeah, I think there's a lot of promise in this. Um I can't wait to see what Corbin does with it, but I can't help but think that you might have to scale back some stuff to fit Corbin in there. Um, right now, I think I'm at 70 between green and yellow.
My
Well,
guess is that what was that?
70 between green and yellow for
Uh,
now.
my guess is that the vocal getting in there is gonna have to do with some side chaining, probably,
Oh yeah,
or
for sure.
ducking or something. But I mean, yeah, it is true though that like
Wall of sound.
again, when you're filling in, you're trying to fill in like all of the sonic spectrum and all of the dynamic space by just compressing and saturating. It's like one of those things that's easy to do to try to like make it sound better, but again, it can be tricky. Like once you saturate too much, then you listen to stuff you really like and you realize that the parts that sound loud and distorted like that, it's usually more subtle than you think. In major mixes, like there's usually more cleanness, and then there's like maybe one or two elements that are super distorted, and it gives you this perception the whole mix is like dirty, but it usually isn't. And it helps to make things sound professional and big and clean and dynamic, to
Mhm.
not take the temptation to do that to everything,
Yeah.
like to focus on specific elements and keep things in check. um Again, it's like you shouldn't always do more of something, like more of a certain type of processing or whatever it is, to get more of a desired effect. Sometimes having like the hint of something and then a little bit of restraint will be better, like a hint of a flavor in food, instead of like way too much rosemary or like whatever it is.
Yeah.
um
Yeah, if I could think what the rosemary was here, and like I think, and so Saoki saying, "I love the mix. Actually, love the mix. Actually, the snare was too loud, but over the song was really good." Um, I generally I like a lot of what the mix is doing, but I think in general, and to go back to Josh where he said the rosemary, I think a lot of it was super high end heavy, and I think it might have
well,
been
that's the saturation distortion will
exactly.
create a lot of that, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's just almost every instrument was put through some sort of saturation, and then all that shit adds up in the higher frequencies, and then the snare like comes in, and it's also loaded with saturation, but it's very transient. So then it gets just piercing, piercing, piercing
Yeah.
at these, and it just gets harder to listen to. Like it's literally more of an engineering thing more than anything.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's interesting, like, I'm also thinking of analogies to, like, a lot of rock music, like, if you go to, say, like Green Day's American Idiot, because I heard this deconstructed at one point where you go to the mix engineer. If you ever seen these videos where, like, there's an mix engineer and they have, like, the master of, like, some crazy track, they start
mm,
soloing stuff, and you realize how amazingly simple a lot of the core elements are. Like, on their own, they
mm,
sound just basic. There's nothing crazy going on, like, oftentimes, whatever, they just sound clean. And even with like guitar tones, right, where you're again dealing with distortion, most of the guitar players that you could think of that have like a distorted sound, they're not you. There's actually not as much distortion as you'd think on their signal. It's just that when it's paired with a clean bass sound, it gives it more weight, and then it's this complement of like having two elements that go together in a certain way where there's some contrast, where they kind of build to make one larger sound.
mm,
That's what's happening when you just have distortion on one or two elements, like just on the guitar, and it makes the whole mix sound like a rock mix, even
mm,
though the bass and the drums are clean. They're not distorted, right?
mm,
So that I think that's an important thing to carry over. And again, if you're trying to get a professional sounding mix, you need to make sure that there's fidelity to it, right?
mm,
Like not everything is being kind of crushed by your saturation or distortion, or even in some cases limiting, to too high of a level can do some of that.
mm,
Um, yeah, and a guitar with too much distortion is harsh, which is why it's like the way to get a heavier sound in rock is not to just add another overdrive pedal. That won't work. You have
mm,
to deal with scooping out the bass, and sometimes like getting a heavier guitar sound can lie with how you mix the kick. Like all of these things are related, and they create one sound that your brain kind of hears everything melded together. So,
yeah.
but it usually involves subtlety and really knowing what you're doing and not just making heavy-handed, broad brush moves.
Hmm. Yep. Corey is hitting it right in the dot there. It's like it's losing so much of the sound, and I can relate it to this song. Like I know that there's stuff that underlying material that sounds really good. It's just it's getting to the point where it's so distorted and so saturated that like that's becoming the sound more so than the actual elements that are
Well, again, like if you think about it, um, saturation, which is essentially like a lighter version of distortion,
Yeah.
it's like similar to compression. Like this relationship between what distortion does. Like if you were to crank a compressor up too much or go into a limiter plugin or whatever, eventually it would turn into distortion. Like distortion is basically just randomness, chaos. It's just
Mm.
noise. And so there's like you're at either end of the extreme, a pure signal, right, from an instrument like a sine wave. That's the most pure signal,
Mm.
or distortion, which is where you take that sine wave and you slowly break it up into smaller and smaller and smaller component waveforms to where it eventually become all of that energy of like the lower sine wave that's pure becomes a bunch of tiny little ones which are high frequencies. And so you can transform any sound from a combination of a number
Low
of
frequencies.
frequencies and fundamentals
Mm.
into basically an even distribution, or like a pink noise, a white noise distribution across all of the fundamentals.
I see.
And it can, that's why saturation adds richness, right? Because you're taking the whatever harmonics in your waveform that are ringing out, and
Mm.
you're transforming some of that into other harmonics in the series that are not currently ringing out. And so the more and more you do, now like all of the different harmonics in the series are resonating to some extent. And if you do too much of it, you lose the fundamental,
I
because
see.
there's more resonance in the other fundamentals of the series, right? And then eventually it becomes white noise, pink noise, whatever, different distributions of energy.
That's fire. This is music tech, y'all. This
Yeah,
is
so
music
it's like,
tech.
I mean, it's really like that's why you have to be so careful with like compression, distortion, and limiting, because if you do too much of it, you are basically turning your ingredients into mush. Like
Mm.
you're basically burning up. It's like, again, like I don't know why all the food analogies are coming up. I've been watching a lot of like Gordon Ramsay's show where he used to like go to restaurants and yell at people, and I'm trying to bring that into the music feedback here. Um, but really, it's like
Where's the lamp sauce? No, I'm
it's
just
the
kidding.
same thing. It's like you start out with like the basic ingredients of a dish, and if you just continue to heat it, it will eventually burn and turn all of that energy into like, heat and ash, right? That's what distortion is doing
Carbon.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
carbon,
It's a
breaking it
good
down.
that's a good analogy actually. I like that. Um you guys can do content. What does that mean? Anyways, Jorge says like no clipping on the track. I know for a fact that Jacob uses soft clipper on FL, so just be careful about that. Maybe that could be what's happening
Oh
too.
my god.
But yeah, sorry, we got sidetracked. We went straight to production because honestly, I think the content's pretty dope. And
Yeah.
like you said, crazy sound design stuff. The stuff that I heard was really cool. And honestly, like the sound design stuff in terms of like the weirder sounds that you were using, I think sounded pretty good.
Hmm.
It's just more so, I guess, at this point, it's kind of a mixing thing, but also a mastering thing. Like just a lot of saturation, getting to the point where it's just becoming much as Josh says, as noise, as a wall of sound that I can't really pick apart things. So I know that EDM kind of requires the full frequency range to be utilized and to be pumped to its maximum, but um, there are points where I think it could happen too much. So um, content, I mean, without Corbin yet, it's hard to say because that I'm sure that'll add a lot. Um, including like story of the song and stuff. But right now, I think it's pretty good. Content at that 80%. Production, I'm probably at 50, maybe 40. Uh, maybe go 35 actually, just because it did hurt to listen to for a while, and I had to turn down my headphones like actually. So you don't want that balance problem when you're listening to music. So yeah, what do you got, Josh?
Yeah, honestly, I would agree with all of those scores. It's cool. Again, it flows nicely between different sections, nice different grooves.
The transitions, yeah, are fantastic. Actually,
Yeah,
seamless,
really, really good
seamless.
transitions for sure. So
Dude, that
like
ending part is so good too. Like, anyway, sorry.
the bones of the song are like really fucking good, right? It's really, really cool. It's just like dialing back a little bit, and again being super purposeful and not making like broad brush strokes with the mixing side,
Mm,
to make sure that you're keeping the integrity of the source material that you have, basically, and finding the right ways to get the sonic effects that you're going after.
mhm.
So yeah, and then track total. What do you think?
let's see, vibes. I was at like 70 content, like 60 between green and yellow. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot to like. I can't wait to hear Corbin on it. Hard drops as usual. I think that like pseudo changeup. You said something about not having a second drop. I don't know where that's gonna fit, but do not get rid of that changeup because that changeup was very nice, a nice
Yeah.
reprieve.
It's
I
really
almost
cool.
wonder if you could put that in the front as a little bit of a lead up to it. Maybe it's just because the snare just stabbed my ear at the beginning. So maybe once that's fixed, it'll be fine. But yeah.
Yeah, I would want to hear, I guess, with vocals and
Oh yeah.
what it would sound like with that second drop. But I mean, this thing is about 3 minutes right now, and
Exactly.
I
I
think
was
it
like, where
keeps
would
it
you put it?
interesting the whole time. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary, but maybe you try it, maybe it works.
Yeah, maybe you got something crazy for us, but
Yeah.
that was your think.
Cool.
Appreciate you. Did you give a final score too?
Yeah, I was gonna say about the same. I was gonna say
Got it.
65% actually.
Got it.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right. Thank you very much. Here think the bag dropper certified. Appreciate you. Um
So
and
we've got
great
time for
music as well.
2 more.
Yep.
And we've got
Abstract glitch, right?
Abstract Glitch up next. Thank you for
I
the
think that was confirmed, Sauki. So thank you, Sauki.
yeah, yes. And then if anybody else has stuff in the queue right now and you want to get reviewed today, Quarhi, I hope I'm saying that right.
Mhm.
I see you're in the queue. You are currently last in the queue. And Balenci Baby, if you're here too, we have a couple that are in front of you still.
Yep.
We won't get to today unless somebody does a tip today.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll get to you when we go through the queue in order of the free submissions, basically. So just
Right.
sent the
Yeah.
link in the chat.
So we'll probably have time for 2 more. We have abstract glitch right now, and then that's the paid queue. And then the free queue, we have Menthol Slim, God's Warrior, Balenci Baby, Music by Dev, Jokerhead, KVS, Seba, Balenci Baby again. So we'll just take that away. And Corey. So Corey, you're number 8. Balenci Baby, you're number 3 after this person. So we won't be able to get to you this week unless you guys tip. And that's fine, right? Like if you guys don't need it right away, that's cool. Like we'll get to you. But some people like kind of need it right away. So we'll get to them first.
It's my feedback, and I need it now.
Yeah. All right,
Call
but
JG Wentworth.
wait a minute. I just clicked the song and it didn't work.
The fuck? Wait, let me try it.
Abstract glitch.
This is quite the abstract glitch right now, isn't it?
Yeah, Sauki, it's not working.
Was not found. Oh my god. That's unfortunate. Send us the link. Okay, sent it in the chat.
Damn, bro, you're just sending your leaks out to the world, huh?
Same link.
Ooh,
Wait,
look
what
at
just
this.
happened?
Look at this logo. I like this logo. It's a constellation. Very clean. Did you get it?
Yep, got it.
It says in playlist abstract glitch. Is this a leak of a potential EP? Looks like.
Ooh,
Don't leak too much. It says second track of the EP. Okay.
dude, this is cool.
All right. Abstract glitch overheated. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh wait, is there any? Let me see if there's any work in
Nope.
progress. Directly, this song has a lot to do with the previous one called "Broken System," also heard by you because it's part of an EP I'm doing. I hope you like it. Nothing more to add. I remember Sauki in the chat. I don't remember precisely the first song. How long ago was it? Let us know. But okay, let's listen to some music. So overheated. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
All systems ready.
The portal shit. The portal shit. I like that snare.
See, yeah, this sounds good.
That's cool. Nice and staccato. Cool toms too. I feel like I know this vocal.
Oh, it's so cool.
Wow.
Very ASMR.
It's like keys in my ear. Nice driving bass underneath.
It's like you've been buried alive and there's maggots in your ears.
Something like that.
Whoa.
Like robo maggots. Very full sound.
vocals should be louder relative to those little pipe hits or whatever they are. Whoa.
Fire. That was fire.
How do you even make this?
Cool change
So
up.
cool. Yeah.
I wanted to do like breakbeat shit. That'd be awesome.
Man.
That boom was awesome. I agreed with your point that the vocals should be like a little more in front. Very hollow. Fire.
Whoa. Oh,
Next song. Ah, that's cool. That's cool.
that's sick.
Wait, it's auto playing. Oh shit, it's auto playing
It
the rest of the
autoplayed
EP.
to number 3.
This is why you don't do it, bro. This is why you don't do it. Don't dox yourself. Don't leak yourself on stream.
That's hilarious. I didn't
We'll
play
delete the link. Delete the link.
it.
Damn, bruh. Salky, that was really good. That was masterful. That's
cool.
Yeah, that was like a very clean mix. I could hear everything in there. It was nice and loud. Yeah, I think that was a very good job. What do you got for first impressions and vibes?
Yeah, overall, I mean, it's always fun when we hear stuff that isn't like run of the mill, right? This
Yeah.
is definitely not that. And I
So
love
cool.
hearing the sound design shit where you're just like, you're wondering how it's possible to make that because it's so complex, but it also has this sort of organicness to it. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like it's just a bunch of like sonic, like synth things or like samples that are just gridded, all put together. It sounds like you crafted these sounds from scratch. Or, maybe I don't know if that's the case or not, but they sound very real. They don't sound like gridlocked or unnatural. It's like something that's it made me think of like bugs or something
Yeah.
that's kind of crawly, like something in the real world. It's not like a digital thing. It's like it feels real.
Mhm.
That's always cool when you can do sound design that creates something that sounds like something else to a
Yeah.
listener. Man, and it was very interesting. Like those groove change ups were awesome. I was thinking it is
Whoa.
granular synthesis.
All right.
Very
That's
cool.
fantastic. Very cool.
Very cool.
I was gonna say, like, not to put my boy on blast, but like, in contrast to the last song, like this is how you can kind of make a song sound full and take up a lot of the frequency spectrum.
And to have texture.
Yeah, and I can pick everything out. Everything sounds so clear and
Mhm.
vivid that you get imagery like that, and like,
Yeah.
oh, that is so cool. And bruh, I think this song's really good. Like, I don't know what else kind of tweaks you're gonna do, Salky, but I don't know. I might be putting this in top tier position. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But my vibes, I think it's pretty much green. I thought this energy was awesome. You kept it fresh. Did some drum switch ups. Did some amazing sound design. And the engineering was, I think, top notch. You made it hard. I turned off my headphones, went to the monitors just to make sure that the bass is like at a good level. And it seems to be at a good driving level. So, yeah, very enjoyable experience for me. Green vibes for me. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, there were a couple things I spotted. One, I was finding I was sort of flipping the volume around the whole time. I was trying to get to the right level where the bass sounded present, but the high end stuff was not ablative or like
I see.
that was the difficulty. And then when I was listening to the thing, right?
Mm,
It's very present and it's cool because it feels like it's right behind your ears or whatever. but and I know that a lot of that is like when you have a lot of high frequency content, it makes it possible to feel like that because high frequencies are directional and your brain interprets it as being right there if it's, pan there. Um, but I also felt like I wanted a little bit more body out of that sound.
Mm,
It over time it started to sound like it was just high frequencies.
mm.
Like, and I couldn't. I wanted there to be actually a little bit more timbre to that sound rather than just the sort of attack or the presence of it, like the high frequency element that tells you it's right next to your ears and that's why it's cool.
Yeah.
I
So
wanted to hear
more of the
more of.
fundamental.
Yeah, yeah, and it might just be that it's filtered in such a way that it's, like, really just high frequency content, but if you
Mm,
if you give it a little bit more body, a little bit more room to breathe, or maybe it's some granular synthesis parameter, I just wanted a little bit more timbre out of that, and the other thing was that it repeats so much, right?
yeah.
Like, it
I
repeats so
wondered,
much of
did
the
you
song.
hear that processing on it got more and more intense as it went on? I felt that. I got that impression. I don't
Well,
know if that's exactly what happened.
there's one point when it started to change or he brought in something slightly different that was the same rhythm, but it had a little bit of a note to it. Remember? There was one part where that happened?
Yeah, yeah.
But it felt like to me, like the main sections of I don't know if you call those verses or what, that it repeated over and over again was the same. And I love that groove change, right? But then when it happened in kind of the exact same way the second time around, I mean, you can almost see it on the waveform. It's basically like big long chunk from right after the intro to where it dips down a little bit, and then it kind of starts that again, and you can see there's like this dip where there's a groove change that's exactly the same both times. Like to
Mm,
me, it feels a little. It's really cool the first time, and then the second time it's still cool, but after it ends, I feel like I thought we were gonna maybe go somewhere else there. It felt like it was copy paste a little bit of
mm,
first part, second part, and then it's done. And the reason why that bothered me just a little bit is because that percussive, stereo pan sound happened so many times throughout both of those sections.
yep,
It's really cool, but you can do anything that's really cool too many times and it starts to lose some of its value. There's a sweet spot for sure.
for sure.
So yeah, I liked it a lot. I'm just like there were a couple of minor things that did make a difference, I feel like, for the listening experience. One, the repetitiveness of certain parts, could it have been changed up more the second time around?
Mm,
Two, the effect of the closeness to your ears with those high frequencies is cool, but after you do it too many times, the illusion kind of comes away, and then you're wanting more of the body of the sound, more timbre. Um, so yeah, those were my main things. And then just overall, maybe the balance of again high frequencies to your bass. Like I wanted to get more of the bass so it feels full. And I think that's usually what people use to modify their volume is if does the bass feel right. But
mm,
then
exactly.
if you get there and the
I
high
literally did that
yeah,
in real
if
time.
if the listener gets to that point where the bass feels right and the highs are too much, or there's like a percussive instrument that comes in every once in a while that is hurting a little bit, then they have to turn back down, and then like I was turning back up because I wanted the bass again, and
Yep.
you get stuck in this up and down.
Mhm,
So it's just a mixed balance thing sort of.
mhm.
But yeah, overall it's really unique and really cool. Love the theme here. The album art is sick. The grooves are awesome. The sound synthesis is great. Um,
Transitions were fantastic.
yeah, I think it's like almost all the way there.
Yeah.
I would give it a 95% for the vibes just because I think those things in my listening experience, if I'm having to turn the volume up and down, trying to get to that comfortable point, and
Mm,
then if I'm left feeling like, oh, that was just a copy pasted section and I heard the same thing too many times, it could just be 5% better, but
that's true.
it's really good.
I agree with all those points. Yeah.
And,
Um,
and that's kind of related to content too.
content,
But
exactly.
do you have any other thoughts on content?
Uh, hmm. I don't think so. I do agree with the points that you had. Um, First of all, the praise. I talked about the sound design. I think it's phenomenal.
So cool.
So cool. It takes up all of the listening space, and it doesn't do it in a way that it's just a wall of sound. It's like so many different textures are happening. Um, content. I like the build up where it's like boom, spoon, 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 and it like that's cool. I think the main drop is fantastic. I do see what Josh is saying about copy and paste it. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm a little bit forgiving because it kind of happens a lot, just in general. Like there's like always hook course, what is it, hooks or courses or whatever, or drops. Um, but and I do think that there were some change-ups. I think in the later half there's like some drum change-ups that happen, and also the boo boo part starts to get like a little bit more present. Um, but maybe it could benefit from more of a change-up. So I could see that for sure. And I love the transition at the end. I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So content for me, I like a lot of what's going on. I agree in a minor way to the copy and paste stuff. Um, so I think I'm at like 90 between green and yellow. I think it's really good. Um, yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, I would say the same, about 90, for the same reasons, yeah.
Hmm. And then production. Um, I agree with you in the fact that overall, I think it did sound just a tad high, high heavy. Um, it wasn't to the point where it's like so off balance that I'm at a volume and it hurts. But I do. Uh, I found myself doing the same thing with what Josh was saying. Was that, oh, is the bass actually really present? Like, let me turn it up. Let me take off my headphones. Let me go to the monitors. In like the best case scenario, I wouldn't even have to do that. I would be
Yeah.
like, oh,
You'd listen to it and be like, "This sounds phenomenal," like,
exactly.
"Whoa."
So if you were to take it into the mastering point, one more time, I think both of us would say like, hey, take a look at the low end and
Yeah.
maybe just kind of balance it out a little bit. Put some more into the low end, take the high end a little bit
Th
down,
th
and
this
you're
seems like
probably good.
the kind of thing that is definitely a masterable fix, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you could submit this mix to a mastering engineer, which we've talked about before. I think it's generally a pretty good idea, unless you're really, really pro at mastering also, but just to have a fresh set of ears put the final seal on something,
Mm.
it can really help you avoid mistakes of, like, your listening system. Everyone's listening system is not 100% accurate, right? And
Yeah,
it's
and go
always.
for somebody that like you like the sound of their
Yeah,
work.
of course, of
Yeah.
course.
So.
But I just think in general, like, if you are doing all the mixing, it is a good idea to get just a separate mastering engineer, because there's things that they can do, like subtle things that will make your songs sound as best as possible on different streaming services, due to the way that they compress audio and the types of audio files they're expecting and the bit rates and all that stuff. That is an important job that mixing engineers often kind of say, "Oh, it's easy." It's like, you just have to, like, put a fucking limiter on, or, a little bit of EQ, and you can get by with
Soft
that.
flipper.
Yeah,
Yep.
soft flipper. You can get by with it, but it really can make or break your release if you have a good master or not.
Mm. Yeah.
But
I
overall, yeah, production,
Or if you don't have that, you could just submit it to us. We could service your second pair and third pair of
yeah,
ears.
exactly, yeah, the feedback can absolutely help with that as well. Hopefully, this is
Mm.
helpful.
Yeah.
But I would say, everything else aside, it's incredibly impressive, the level of work that you've done, like, just the sound design, the way it sounds is so unique. That is the hardest part, right? Like, most people can't make sounds that are unique. It's so often like, I've heard that sample 1,000 times. Like, that is obviously just, from a different context. When you purpose build the thing, it's like hand building a Ferrari.
Mm.
It's like so valuable. It's so cool.
Mm.
So, props to you. I think production, I would give you a probably an 85% on the production, because that was where there was the most, I think, last few steps to be done.
Mm. I was at 95%. I feel like the steps aren't that huge.
They're not. It was just
When I
just
put production in there, it's like also sound design, like so good.
right, right. Yeah, definitely.
But overall, um, what do you think? I'm curious. I kind of told you a little bit where I was leaning,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
after what we talked about, maybe there could be some work before it's there.
yeah, I think it's like, it's one of those things where it has the potential to be really cool, and for people to really love it and get on a lot of playlists and whatever, like, and to build a fan base, right? Again, so rare to
Yo,
see
AC.
to see
Sorry.
somebody, with a unique artistic style that knows how to
Thanks for the
execute
follow.
on it and make something really cool.
Mhm.
That's it's rare what you've got, the artistry there. So, but again, it's important to make sure that you get it right, so that every listener who hears it has a chance at becoming a fan, and that you're not leaving anything to chance, right? Like if somebody's system is a little bit less bass heavy than yours, and if the skew is already slightly out of proportion, they might just be like, "This sounds weird. There's not enough bass," right? Even though there is, but the proportion is different. You might just get unlucky, but that's the point of mixing. And there's a very narrow window of getting your mix and master right to where it will translate to everybody's systems, and everyone's listening on something different. So it's the reality that you have to account for.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless
and
you're me and Josh, we're listening on the same.
yeah. Well, yeah, and
Unfortunately.
for a reason. I mean, these the ATH M50s are pretty even headphones. They're pretty flat,
Yeah.
and they're used pretty widely. So it's just helpful to listen on the same ones too. But all that aside, I think I would say track total for me is probably 90%
Yeah.
good to go,
I'm at
because
95.
again, and I think it may be useful to like consider that second verse or whatever you want to call it, if there's any way to make it less repetitive relative to the first one,
Yeah.
or even the usage of that stereo sound. If you can vary that a little bit more in each one, that might help a little bit. But it's about the repetitiveness a little bit there. So yeah, it's really cool. It's just those few things are fixed. I think it could be a top tier track for sure.
I'm fucking with this guy. No. Here. There's our submit link there. Trash or not, bro? We'll take it. We'll take any songs. But yeah,
Top
I'm
track,
at yeah, top tier trash. I'm
top
at
tier track.
95% between green and yellow with potential. Once this is released, I think this could be purple because I think it's
Yeah,
fantastic. I agree with Josh's
absolutely.
point there. Um, when I heard the second drop, I liked the first one so much that I was just like, oh yes, like I'd like to
Yeah,
hear this
yeah,
again.
yeah. It was sort of after
But
it, because I was like, wait, I was like, oh, there's stuff changing, and then I
mm,
realized after it, like, oh, I just got the same thing as last time, you know?
yeah, yeah. So yeah, maybe switch it up a little bit, but your bread and butter is really good. The source material is fantastic. So
Yeah, isn't that?
don't do
Oh, never.
anything too crazy, but
What's the difference between the
garbage.
expressions bread and butter versus meat and potatoes?
I think it's the same thing,
It's
but
weird
I
because
guess
meat and
I'd rather have
potatoes
meat
is
and potatoes.
more substantive.
Yeah. Bread and butter's for the less
Isn't
unfortunate
that like the
folks.
side shit? Like that's like on the side plate.
Dude, my bread and butter sandwich, bro. Sometimes life
Yeah,
is hard.
just butter.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a review. Thank you very much, Sauki. That was fantastic. I can't wait for this EP. It's
Yeah,
sounding really good
this shit's cool.
so far. I think this is, if I remember correctly, you sent us that Portal intro song where I thought the intro was too long. But from
Mm,
what I remember too, like it was like a really good track. So I'm
yeah,
excited. All right,
dope.
so with that submission, we have one spot left. There's nobody in the paid queue right now. If you're in the paid queue, that means you go first. We do have plenty of people in the free queue. So we have Menthol Slim, we have God's Warrior, Balenci Baby, Music by Div, Jokerhead, KVS, Seba, and Quarky, and then Yo AC trying to submit his trash. So the point is, we only have time for one more song. If you guys need a feedback right now, like some people have project deadlines, they just don't want to wait. Um, you can tip us. It's a minimum $5. We'll put you to the front and we'll do you first. We
You will
had
get reviewed right now.
Yeah, I think we had like three tips this week, and so if you're in the free queue, sometimes it can be pushed a little bit longer. But if you submit to our um, form, we will get to you no matter what. It just might not be right away. Just because people come in and they're like, hey, I need this mix master to be ready right now. So if you
Yes.
guys need that, hit us with the tip. I think Josh is typing the command there.
It's in there, yeah. And yo, AC, if you're submitting, let us know if you're gonna tip. And we can, if you tell us you're gonna do it ahead of time, then we can go to your track. Otherwise, like we said, it'll be next week or maybe the week after.
Yep.
Honestly, um, so yeah, let us know in the chat if you're gonna do that. If not, we will move to do
Menthol Slim.
Menthol Slim. Drum roll, please. All right,
Drum roll, please.
I'm not getting anything, so if not, yo AC, you gonna be in the future in the free queue.
I'm making a
Um,
form right now. They said,
speak
make it
now
a
or
form.
forever hold your pee, as they say.
Yeah, P stands for what?
Peace.
But my penis got an attitude.
The fuck? What is that?
Dude, it's fucking Eminem's freestyle.
Oh.
It's so bad. It's so bad. But anyways,
Yo, AC
yeah,
said,
yo,
wait.
I can
Oh,
tip. Oh shit. All right.
okay.
If you do, we'll wait.
You should have the link. I think the link is in the chat. Okay, well, if you are, then we will do it. We will.
Yeah, I already clicked on Rasputin by Menthol Slim, so
It's tight. Better
it's looking pretty
hurry.
crazy.
Give you like 30 seconds.
He's got the lyrics all here too, so I'm kind of interested.
Don't read the lyrics before you listen to the song.
It sounded pretty crazy.
Spoiler alert.
Oh shit! All right, yo AC, what you got? What you got?
Yo, AC. No
AC
submission.
made this beat.
No submission yet either.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta start a track. So let us know, bro.
Yeah, 5.
Submit your track
Or
and submit your tip. Or
I know our form's longer than other people's, but it's not this long. All right, we got it. Okay. He gave us 3, which is less than the minimum, but fuck it.
Whatever.
We'll accept it this time.
No
We appreciate it.
rules.
First of all, yeah.
Wait,
appreciate
where do you? Oh, I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
So, yo, AC, we appreciate the tip. Thank you very much. It's usually $5 minimum because PayPal taxes us like
the
a shit
shit
ton.
out of us.
Yeah, but we'll do it. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. And
yes.
we still don't have your submission in the
we
form.
We do need the track though.
We do need the track.
Time is tight.
Okay.
Where's the track? All right, if we don't get it within the next 3.5 seconds, your tip has gone to waste. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
We'll wait patiently.
Oh man.
Hey,
there it is.
There it is.
All right.
Internet.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much. Apologies for our process, our vetting process.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice art. That's cool.
Dangerous. Finished release. This is actually me trying to explore and reach out of my comfort zone. I usually try to push my genres, so I hope you enjoy it. I'll explain more. Y'all rushing me. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay,
hey man,
please.
you came in literally the last song of our day.
He said my ass is clenched. All right, explain yourself.
Yeah, explain it away. Let us know if there's anything you want us to listen to in particular. It looks like this is a finished release, so we'll take it from that lens. If you already released it, it's like, this is maybe what you could try better in going forward. But yeah, this is Dangerous. You ready?
Yep.
All right, AC, 3, 2, 1.
Ooh. A lot of ringiness there.
Yeah.
It's like a nice warm timbre, but it's so ringy.
Very in the background. Very in the background.
You're in the back of the stage.
I be feeling dangerous, y'all be trying to rate this. Y'all be switching up, you're not even ambidextrous. Don't worry about my life, I don't worry about my paychecks. Just go make sure you do you and keep sending those fake texts. I'm not on my own, I'm just grown and I know.
That's a nice melody.
Nice melody.
Move along, I'm not even being rude, you're just not where you belong. Don't act like you're my friend when you were gone all along. I sent you a text, you left me on red. I read in between the lines, I'm thinking that you want me dead. What is a friend? That is a trend.
Sorry.
It was here for a little, but now it is gone in the end. Yeah, I'm just running the game, no, I'm not doing it all for the fame. You getting jealous, you getting real lame. You're speeding, but you cannot mess with the lane. That is a shame, I hope that you pray. You needed a friend, now you wanted to hang. That is too bad, I'm moving on up. Time to say goodbye and pack it all up. I be feeling dangerous.
It's just the Uzi
vibes. Y'all be switching up, you're not even ambidextrous. Don't worry about my life, I don't worry about my paychecks. Just go make sure you do you and keep sending those fake texts. I'm not on my own, I'm just grown and I know how I wanna make my moves. That ain't wrong, move along. I'm not even being rude, you're just not where you belong. Don't act like you're my friend when you were gone all along.
Nice.
Yeah, that was nice. That reminds me. Yeah, remind me of like a little Uzi Vert kind of feel to it. And I love Uzi. Uzi's one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, that's chill.
But
Whew.
Yeah, shouts out to you, AC. I'm glad that we waited for that.
Yeah.
My ass is clenched. Usually try to go for more melodic trap, much comfort zone. Done a lot of research, practicing, improve my mixing as well. Any tips? Barry, we welcome. Just trying to hear, just here trying to learn and hear everybody's perspective to improve. Cool. Appreciate that attitude. Yeah. What do you got for first impressions and vibes?
I just overall I feel like it's very well poised. Like I
Hmm.
feel like this just the content of the song itself, and I think I like most of the lyrical delivery. There's a couple parts I thought were a little bit awkward, right?
Me too.
Um,
Ambidextrous. Ambidextrous.
yeah, that might be one. The
Yeah.
other one, I have to be totally honest, I had to look at the lyrics because I thought you said the word rapist and
Oh.
you said rate this.
Oh.
It
Y'all
was
be trying to
not
rate this.
it was not obvious. And the second time it happened, again, it like it triggered me.
Oh.
Everyone has said that. Yeah, it happens. When I used to, there was a
Everyone has
point
said that.
when I started making covers. People used to say that my like T's sounded too much like S's or something in certain words. There's always certain things like quirks that you have, with the way you talk and sing or whatever. And in some cases it's better to like avoid certain words even or certain combinations.
Mhm.
Or sometimes you just have to really think about how you can modify your vocal delivery to
Yeah.
make it clearer to others. Um, but yeah, overall, again, I just think like the track itself sounds like well put together. I like where things are staged, like the transitions between sections and the energy changes. It's not like always completely expected, which is awesome. It's easy to hear a lot of stuff like this where it is expected and kind of stock in a lot of ways, but I didn't really feel that way here. There were a couple of production related things, not big ones really. I think overall it's pretty good, pretty well mixed.
Mhm.
But I liked it. Yeah, I think vibes. I would probably give this like an 85% between yellow and green right now.
Yeah. I think I can agree with that score. Um, I already told you about this. Like it's kind of like fall into that like Uzi vibe a little bit. I like your melodies. It seems like you have a good ear for it, and the flows were fantastic too. I'm so glad that Josh was listening to the stuff without reading the lyrics first, because like I that rate this thing totally went over me. I was just trying to like see what he's trying to say. Um, but yeah, you said it too. Like everybody's been hearing rape this, and like people say such shit in their songs, and you want to make sure that you're getting the point across, right? So
Y'all be
that's a
trying to
good tip.
rapist. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a very, very different line, right? So, um, hey man, it happens a lot. Like, I remember in some songs, like maybe you have to like unfortunately, if you can't get that message across effectively, maybe you just kind of switch up the rhyme scheme a little bit, or come up with a different kind of a word to make the same meaning, or combination of words. I remember there's one song I was writing where I was trying to say like I was like I don't know if you guys are familiar with Icarus, but Icarus is like the legend of they made their like own artificial wings. I think it's their dad's or something. And they were so confident with it that they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go reach the sun," and he flew too close to the sun and burned his wings.
Mm,
That's getting too deep, but
don't
the
fly
point
too
is,
close to the sun.
yeah, the point is, I was saying something like, "Oh, I'll make my wings," and I said the words flame retardant, right? But when you're saying that, it sounds like retarded or they retarded, and it's like you don't want to say that. So we
Yeah.
switched it up to like a different rhyme scheme where it rhymes with fireproof instead of flame retardant,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so like sometimes I rate this as like I feel like not that crazy. Flame
That's like
retardant
a
was like why are you saying retardant? That shouldn't be a word that you're
yeah.
saying. But it's that same concept. Like maybe you have to rewrite it to try to find the same meaning, and that it's just more palatable and pleasing to the ear the first time you listen, because most people aren't going to be looking up your lyrics when they listen to your song the first time. So
Yeah, but what you were saying about how you went to the adjacent line and
yeah.
changed up the rhyme scheme, that's like
Mhm,
a good tip in itself because a lot of
mhm,
people would think, "Oh, I can't use that. I need to find something else to put here." Right? And maybe there is no rhyme that makes sense. And then that's bad because if you just fill some other crap in there
mhm,
that is supposed to rhyme but doesn't make sense, like we don't know why it's in there, right? It's an artifact of your work process. But the better way to go sometimes is like to modify to step back and look at the bigger picture more instead of just being like line by line. You can get lost, right? Like the lines can be disjointed at that point when you're like solving small problems the whole time. You need to really always keep a view of your whole track, your whole verse. And sometimes you need to change a lot of things around. Like you might, from one line being changed, want to move the order of the verses, right? Or to tell the story in the right way, or again, to change an adjacent line or the whole rhyme scheme with the verse. So it's like having the guts to do that, but also the big picture vision to know how to organize things when you're dealing with these line by line small level problems. So yeah, that's a good tip.
Yes, thank you. That's what we get here. Good tips. But all right. Overall vibes, yeah, I liked it. I thought I do agree with Josh. There's some just very small areas where I think the delivery is a little bit awkward, but there's some places where you're in the pocket totally. I like that little that verse, the send you a text, left me on red, read in between the lines, think of you want me dead. I thought that part was delivered pretty well, and that's where I was like, oh, this sounds like Uzi. Like it's pretty cool. But yeah, I think I'm at what did you say for vibes? Did you give a score?
85, I think.
85 sounds like a good score. I think I'm there. What do you got for content?
Yeah, I mean, there's maybe a few things again with the vocal delivery,
Yeah.
where certain words just sound a little bit maybe not loose enough. Like there are some where I really like the intonation or inflection or whatever you call it that you're using on the end of some of these lines. There's one or two that reminded me a little bit of The Weeknd almost, like a very
I hear that.
clear
Yeah.
open sound of like your vowels and stuff. It's not sloppy at all. It's very clean, but there's some points where a word just sounds a little bit stiff, a little bit awkward. Like I think ambidextrous might be one. It's
Yep.
like,
Yep.
and some people like say ambidextrous, and
Yeah.
they think it sounds weird when you say
Yeah.
ambidextrous, right? And it's just it's a complicated mouthful word. Um, those sound a little bit too proper or something when you said like those fake texts.
Yep.
Just make sure you do you and keep sending those fake texts.
Yep.
It's too wordy. It needs to sound a little bit more like, again, laid back, kind of not sloppy, but like relaxed,
Casual.
Yeah, and it's like, again, trying to say what you want to say in a sly way,
In a
right?
in a palatable
Like
way,
I just
and
did.
that's hard, right? Literally, we said rate this. You should either enunciate it more or like change it up. And then literally right now we're saying like, oh, you're saying it too wordy or too not palatable. What is it? What is the word? Like understanding or
Intelligible.
intelligible. Yeah, you're saying it
Well,
like you're making
too
it
too like properly.
too properly. Yeah.
You know,
So, hey, man, it's a fine balance. That's
it
tough.
is like you're because it's this balance for you especially, right? Of like balancing the lyrics to where like the lines themselves are not too wordy, so you can say them. Like you're writing for the voice that's going to deliver them, in this case your voice, right? But you're also trying to say the words that you write for your voice correctly, right? Like you're doing both parts and they interact with each other, and at different points you can decide like, I can't say this word in a way that sounds good, I'm going to change the line, right? Or I got this line, I need to figure out how to say this in a way that sounds more appealing or more relaxed or whatever it is. So yeah, it's like it's a mix of both, which is good because it shows that you can do both. It's just sorting out the places where it's too much that way and the places where it's too much that way, and wordsmithing. That's kind of the word.
And honestly, like I keep coming back to this word, but I actually really like the ambidextrous bar because it says y'all be switching up and you're not even ambidextrous. So
Maybe it's just the way you say it, right?
yeah,
Like
I think
that
it's literally just the
yeah,
delivery. So, I think like the writing is good actually. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I interrupted your content. So, what do you got for content? Totally.
Other than that, yeah, we've been talking about the lyrics so much. I'm trying to remember. Like, I did like the sound choices that you used,
Mhm.
and just
There's a nice
the
octave layer that you put in there too. I think someone commented on that on your mix actually. But yeah, it's good. I liked it.
oh, there's that. Well, that's production. I'll get into that in a minute. But
Good.
I was just trying to go
He's
back.
listening.
Oh, there was another production thing that's sort of content-ish, but I'll save it for production. Overall,
Alright.
I liked your content. I liked the lyrics. Again, we talked about your delivery paired with the writing could maybe use a little bit of workshopping. Um, and then overall, I like the actual musical content. It's like a comfortable tempo. The sections change up nicely. It's not always super expected. It was good. It was a lot better than I normally hear, honestly, from this
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
It was good.
I agree.
So I think I would give content, like, again, probably a 90 actually.
Yeah.
There's just a couple of tweaks to make, perhaps.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think you got to, like I said it before, you got an ear for the melody, so it's good. Um, Potential there. Just small tweaks there. 90% for me too. Production, what do you got?
Yeah, so production, first of all, at the beginning, you've got this kind of warmer sound floating around thing that's really cool, but it has this resonance, this ringing to it
Yeah.
that it's really like present, like really quite loud compared to like I'm expecting a smooth, nice, relaxing sound there, right? Sort of textural soundscape thing, but I'm getting this like resonant peak is what it sounds like. So I don't know what that's going through or how that's happening. If you did that effect, maybe dial it back a little bit. If not, maybe look for the resonant peaks in like an EQ or even a dynamic EQ and try to bring those back a little bit. Not saying the effect isn't viable, but right now the balance is just a little bit off.
Mhm.
There's that. The other thing that I actually kind of laughed at a little bit during the song was there's some delay lines at the end of some of your vocals that are just, again, like too proper, like
Mm.
it, it's like repeating the line at almost the same level as the
Mhm.
original.
Mhm.
And in some cases, it was a line that was already like a little bit funny. Like maybe the way that it was said was a little bit, again, kind of straight laced.
Mhm.
Or it just was a line that doesn't have a lot of weight and shouldn't have been like loudly repeated via delay.
Yep.
I would say use those end of line delays only on lines where you want to emphasize what you're saying. Don't just do it because you want every line in the verse to do that. That gets boring after the second iteration if the lyrics are not amazingly appalling, right?
I get
Um,
that. I get that. It's hard because I think purely rhythmically and melodically, I liked those delays. But I
yeah, I
get
like
what
the
you're
idea
saying.
of them,
I
but it
think you specifically laughed at what is a friend that is a trend, right?
maybe
But it's like,
maybe
come on, come on. Like, do you need to like hit that
w-
home?
yeah, like when the when the lyric is like sort of like that's kind of funky, right?
Yeah,
And then it gets repeated immediately after. It's like what the hell? It like takes you out of it because you're
yeah,
wanting to listen to the next lyric, but you're just being served the same kind of weird one again.
yeah, yeah,
And just it's I just don't think that it's necessary all the time. Like it can be nice. Maybe it's better if it's at a lower volume and it has like more of a decay to it.
yeah,
But right now it's like almost like a carbon copy of that vocal part is happening right after. And it doesn't also like those delay lines having a lot of modulation on them or filtering or reverb. So they don't sound like a carbon copy of the original is what gives it that cool, like, ambiance and vibe that, etherealness or whatever you want to call it. They don't need to be processed the same way. They probably shouldn't be.
mm.
So, yeah, but I mean, other than that, maybe was there a vocal level thing? Let me.
In the beginning, I mean, I think they did it for like intentional, like to kind of put it in the back.
Mhm.
But maybe it
Oh,
was a
right.
little bit overdone.
At the
That's
beginning,
all.
yes, that stuck out quite a bit.
Yeah.
That first vocal was really quiet in the background. It was like you're standing all the way at the back of the stage,
Right, and that
and it,
happens for within the first 25 seconds. So,
yeah,
we are here to listen to you guys' music all the way through. Whereas if someone hears this on a streaming platform and it sounds like that for the first 30
skip,
seconds,
yeah,
skip.
it's
Yeah.
true.
So, I mean, which is sad because when you came in, it was really good.
Like, I mean,
Like,
that's how you have to think about it. Like, the whole song
we are
is
the TikTok generation. Sorry.
well, yeah, but I mean, sure. At every point in your song, there is a decision tree, right, branching off, which is the listener going to continue listening or stop? And it's like it's multiplicative, right? If there's a 50% chance they're going to make it past 5 seconds, and then a 50% chance that the remaining listeners will make it past 10 seconds, now you have a quarter of your listeners, and
Math.
it continues to multiply. So as you get further and further on the song, less and less people make it through.
Oh yeah.
It's the same way with any streaming platform, YouTube, whatever. Your watch time, like almost nobody makes it to the end of every YouTube video,
Yep.
right? Very small percentage of the people that enter make it in there. And the people who make it through are the ones who, A, if they listen to enough, it actually counts as a play. Sometimes it won't even count as a play if it's too few seconds of listening time. So that's just wasted effort, right? Like the algorithm showed your song to somebody. They didn't like it enough to listen to the whole thing. It didn't give you a like. And then the algorithm said, fuck this. People don't like the song. We're not showing it to anybody else. That is how fame happens in the 21st century.
Mm-hmm.
Only if your content is engaging the whole time for our short attention spans and like perfect. Like that's the point of FastTrack, is to make sure that your content is as perfect as possible to stand any chance of the algorithm showing it to more people and you getting fans and having a shot at being an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
At like making this your career, perhaps. So you have to think about the beginning of your song as the most important part. And it's nice if you have something cool at the end of your track. That's what creates fans, right? Like you get through the whole song and then there's like a little surprise at the end. Like I'm definitely adding that shit to my playlist now, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna follow you and whatever. But I need to get through the beginning of it for you to have any chance at me getting there or getting
Yeah.
to the good part. So just in general, it's not just for this song, but you know, you need to make sure you're thinking about your music that you create as a tool to do certain things and keeping in mind what these systems and algorithms and just humans do.
Yeah.
Um, Beginning is more important than the end, ultimately.
Dude, and what's crazy is those 2 points that he brought up, the ringingness, the resonance, and the
At the
kind
beginning,
of in the back, yeah, in the back, overdone effect, it's in the first 30 seconds of the song. So literally, I went through a journey of this song of like, oh, this sounds so amateur, to actually what it was, which is pretty
to
decent.
liking it, yeah.
Yeah, like, so, bro, like, I that's the thing, man. You're getting in the way of your own fans. Like, I like this music, but I probably would have skipped it if I heard that shit in the beginning, you
Yeah.
know? So, keep that in
to
mind.
to
Like,
bring up the Gordon Ramsay reference again, it's like going to a restaurant that is like a shit storefront, looks really bad, and the waiters are fucking mean, but then you get the food and it's amazing, right?
yeah.
Like a lot of people will just see the storefront and they will not enter and they'll never get that good food, right?
Mhm.
Or they'll be like, we've been waiting here for an hour and nobody's come to our table, we're leaving. Again, it's like the restaurant can have great food, but it's about the way that you present things. And you know, there's the whole production side of that too, which is, you know, a little bit different, but just in general, beginning of your song is really important these days.
Yeah. I agree pretty much with the production that Josh was saying. I would just add that I feel like a l the vocals might be a little bit high end heavy. I would just like a little bit more body to it. Just a tad off of the low end cutoff. Um, and I think it's good. I think it's pretty much that might be a preference thing, a personal preference thing, because
Sure.
I've heard people like Uzi have that high scooped of a voice. So yeah, that's just what I would say. But yeah, the vocal mixing itself sounds pretty good.
Hmm.
Um, Overall production, those 2 points. I would probably say production might be uh well, the delivery too. I was gonna say like the one that needs the most work, but some delivery stuff too. I think I'm at 75 between green and yellow. What do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, again, if I get to the part, the verse part, whatever, I think it's pretty good, and it's not like, I guess, yeah, after that intro part, things are not really like out of whack. They're pretty well balanced. But again, very important to work out the weird resonance thing at the beginning because that's like has an effect on the rest of your song in the practical listenership way.
Mhm.
Like even though the rest of the song is so good, it's like it lessens how good the rest of the mix is because nobody will get there. And then yeah, same for that vocal that's too far back, and then the delay thing, which is more throughout the song or in the middle. I would give production probably also a 75. And if I was being harsh, I could say a 70 or something because that beginning part could cause listeners to just leave.
Yeah.
But judging it by the whole song, there's a lot of it is really good. So um,
What's
just
up,
focus
Zog?
on fixing those few things. Yeah. Sup, Zog, welcome back.
Zog.
And track total?
Uh, I think that puts me at 80.
Yeah, I would say the same. It's getting there. It's almost all the way there, and it's got a lot of potential and like good content and writing and all of that stuff. It's just there's a few things to work on that would make it viable for the mass market, and
Mhm.
that's where you want to get.
And that's the thing, bro. It's not like not even mass market, but your own fans that would
Your
like the
audience,
music.
yeah, everyone's always like, "Well, I'm not trying to be a pop star." It's like, "No, no, 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 no. It's about appealing to the people who like your music, and if you put roadblocks in their way to doing that, right? It's not all style and preference. A lot of it is like most humans don't like their ears bleeding. Like that's like a simple example, right? Like the frequency balance needs to be right. When they're going from one track to another, they need to not sound like super different, right? Like one is way quieter or one is like way more distorted and like bandpassed. There's just practical things about how almost every listener listens to music and absorbs it and decides whether they like it or not that we're trying to go through and help you guys, sort out as listeners ourselves, right? We're listeners that are able to perhaps help you identify what isn't quite clicking with us as listeners. So yeah, hopefully this has been helpful to you as well. Thanks for submitting and joining. It's great to have new folks on the stream as always. That was our last for today. We're about 20 minutes over, but that's okay.
Yep.
Um,
I was gonna say, Zhao, like, bro, I was trying to find. I remember you. I was trying to find out the last time you submitted. It looks like March. That's crazy.
I
What's
thought it was
up?
more recent.
I don't know. I thought so too, but I'm looking at our form. But
Huh.
we got your submission, but unfortunately, as Josh said, that was the last song. But yeah, let me see. Zog. Where are you at?
Zaug.
I literally think it's been a long time.
Damn.
Yeah, March 18th was the last time I see it on our forum.
All right.
So
Well, glad to have you back, and we will listen to your
yeah,
track as soon as we can.
yep.
Um, but yeah, do you have any parting words?
No, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the donations. Everything helps. And yeah, we're getting more and more support, more and more people in the queue. I remember a time where me and Josh didn't have people in the queue.
We had to look
And
for people, man, and
yeah,
now people show up. You guys.
yeah, you guys
So
appreciate it. I think the music quality has gotten better.
yeah, definitely.
And AC, like Josh said earlier, like we get a lot of rapper and what is it, auto tune people that do not sound as good as you do. So that was a pleasant surprise. Um, and yeah, like I think our quality of the submissions have gone up over time.
Well, and from the people that
I was
continue
gonna
to
say,
submit, which is
yeah,
a
people get
good
better and
sign,
better.
right? Yeah, it's super
Yeah,
cool.
dude, Jenkins Ave, like his shit sounds fantastic. It's
I was
sounding,
just thinking of that one. Yeah, I remember at the beginning it was a little bit dicier with some of
yeah,
the production stuff and the writing, and a lot of
and his
times,
confidence, like he's so confident now. It's
yeah, he's
awesome.
shitting us on us in the chat.
He
Really
is shitting
confident.
on us.
But yeah, I mean, it is. I think there are a few themes that we find, and maybe it'd be useful at some point to share this information in some way. That's like, what did we learn from doing all this feedback? But it's often like you as an artist need to find your focus, right? Like in your sound, like what you're trying to say, and really being purposeful about the shit you put on the page, right? The individual elements that you record, the way you're structuring your songs. Really think about what's the journey and the story you're trying to paint. That's common. Not making big boisterous mixing moves, like keeping things rational, balanced. That's ultimately what it's about with mixing, and just keeping at it, honestly, continuing to seek feedback and working on your stuff and doing multiple versions and just making as much as you can, because that's the only way to get good. So
Get good.
yeah, it's cool watching your kids grow up.
Yeah, that's true. That's Pappy Josh signing off.
Yep,
Pappy Chris.
sure is.
Two Pappies.
Yeah.
It's 2022. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, thanks everyone. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. That's the link up in the top right corner.
IG.
That is where we share our updates and top tier tracks, which do happen occasionally. If you go to our link tree on Instagram, you will find our playlists where we again put the top tier tracks, and our Discord link is in there, which seems to be picking up a little bit.
Yeah,
I think there might be some messages that we missed, so we'll have to
I think
to
so.
go in
Yeah.
there and reply to those. But love to
Yep.
see it. Get the discussion started in there. Join if you want to. Follow us on Twitch to get notified when we go live, and we are here every Friday from 5:30 to 7:30 Central. Convert to your own time zone. And yeah, we should be back again next week, I believe. So
Mm.
we'll see you then.
All right. Sounds good. Later, guys.
All right. Peace.